Good morning. It's another Friday, January 16th. We're tired.
We are.
It's going to be a usual structure, but I think a little bit quicker. We're going to rip through some stuff because we're running on fumes today. So, without further ado, we'll just jump right into the NHL like we always do.
Yeah.
And if you just listen to the first 30 seconds of every pod, it's going to sound the exact same because the Eastern Conference standings are so jammed up. It still blows my mind. Um, The Leafs have points in 11 of their last 12 games, and they're still not in a playoff spot. They've made up almost no ground because Boston keeps winning, Buffalo keeps winning, Montreal, Detroit, Tampa's on fire. What is this division in hockey? This Atlantic division is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, though, because the Leafs kind of lost an opportunity losing the last two. Because if you look, Detroit lost their last one. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10, and so are the Canadians. And the Leafs are 6-1-3. If they
Hmm?
if they win those two, they're right back in it. You know?
Yeah.
So it only
which
takes
is
a
which
couple
is a crazy
games.
statement though. Like, oh, only if you went 10-0. Like
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
how is this happening?
That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair. But I mean, yeah, you gotta you gotta try and execute a couple of wins that you wouldn't
Yeah.
think they would get in the next few games here, and I think they'll be right back in it. But it is coming down to the wire here, and that's
Yeah.
yeah,
For the Leafs, they're in the tough part of their schedule now. The first half was supposed to be the easy part, and they
mm-hmm.
failed spectacularly. Now they're doing their Western road trip, which is always difficult for them. They've started out okay at 1-1-1
Yeah,
here on this little trip, but it's incredible to me. Even Buffalo, who is again since they fired their GM and have been on an absolute tear, are just barely sitting in a wild card position.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say. It's tight. It's tough. It's gonna be interesting to see what teams squeak through in there as we come to
I
playoff time.
almost wish the playoffs started tomorrow because we would get teams like Detroit who haven't been there in forever,
Yeah.
the Islanders, Pittsburgh, who everybody wrote off at the beginning of the year, myself included. We all had them being 32nd in the league.
Yeah.
Buffalo ending their professional sports record-setting playoff drought.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
That would be.
On the other side, you have in the West, you have Seattle back there, who hasn't been there since the second year in the league. Utah and San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
who obviously have we spoke a lot about last pod and the turnaround that they've done. But this would be much like we're going to talk about in the NFL shortly. Some unfamiliar faces in some prominent positions.
Yeah. Yeah. The one
Uh,
that I'm the most stoked on, I think, is still San Jose. Like they're
right?
7-3-0 in their last 10, and if you look in their Pacific Division, like there's nobody else that has a record that good in the last 10, and it's looking good for them. Hopefully, I mean
Yeah.
it can always switch up pretty quick, but
We talked
yeah,
a lot about them last week and how we didn't even think they thought they were going to be this good this year. And a note that I forgot to add last week is San Jose literally had to take on Carey Price's contract
mm-hmm.
just to hit the cap floor. Like they're not spending money on legitimate players. I think this was still supposed to be another building year for them. Maybe
Yeah,
even a year where they're planning on getting a top 10 pick in the draft. What it might be, but to take on Carey Price's contract just to be compliant,
yeah,
yet you're in a playoff spot. That's again just incredible.
yeah,
Huge props to them for their turnaround. And
playing
I get it.
Moneyball.
Celebrini is it's literally a lottery pick. I guess that's why they call that. But you've seen other first round picks not be able to do what he's doing,
Yeah,
and a McDavid-esque turnaround of a franchise, not just a team. Like they're talking about it now, like that San Jose building is actually selling tickets again. There are people coming to watch hockey games there
yeah.
because of him. Incredible. Um, Connor McDavid, also obviously incredible, has his 20-game point streak come to an end. Which, oh no. Um,
Yeah.
though
Ah.
I didn't do my homework on how many points it's something like, I think it's over 2 points a game he scored in that 20 point game streak. So he and McKinnon are still battling it out at the top with celebrating like and just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Um, God, it looks good for Canada, doesn't it? When you say that going into the Olympics,
You would hope so. One
right?
would really hope so. Yeah.
Um, Other than that, the standings really haven't shaken out a whole lot. Ottawa has decided to win a couple of games to get themselves off the floor, while the Rangers have decided to lose in every way possible, including a 10-2 loss to the Boston Bruins. You don't see double digits very often on the score
No.
sheet. So much so to where the NHL.com website didn't have a font to handle 10-2. They had to quickly adjust and come up with a weird looking font on their website to handle 10 for the
Yeah.
Boston Bruins.
Yeah, it's crazy to see a score like that and the Avalanche not be in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only other time we've seen that this season, right? Is with
Yeah.
Colorado. So, yeah.
Uh, Winnipeg also decided to win just a couple of games to pull them up off the floor and let Vancouver really sink. But you look over there in the West, and three Canadian teams are the absolute pits of that division. Western Canada is in a dark place because you either love the Oilers or you hate the Oilers,
Yeah.
and the other three options are 8, 9, and 10 in that division.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not.
Looking good for
Um,
the Olympics, not so good for the NHL.
yeah, yeah, totally. So we'll look and see if anything changes before the Olympic break in terms of standings at all. But I think it's just gonna be that type of year where we're gonna have playoff teams and playoff positions decided in the last 1, 2, 3 games of the year,
Yeah.
which is really, it's exciting in and of itself. I mean, you love to see that. It's just mind shattering to people who've watched the NHL for so long because it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy how close it is.
It is, but it is exciting because it creates great playoff hockey because those teams that know that they're in kind of lay off for the end of the season and they're ready to go
Yeah.
by the time the playoffs come. So,
Well, and I was talking about this with somebody else off air too. Is I another reason I want the playoffs to start is because you do like Detroit, Montreal, these teams, Buffalo, who are young, they can score goals like crazy, but don't play a whole lot of defense.
mm-hmm.
There could be some really exciting playoff series. The Islanders as well, either shut teams out or get a 7 spot put up on them. Like,
Yeah.
um, especially in the East, like you could have some absolutely wild offensively minded playoff series.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a
Yeah,
fun year.
yeah, hard to predict.
Yeah. And we're so good at that to begin with that
Yeah, aren't we?
yeah.
Other than that, we had two legends, Sergei Fedorov and Zdeno Chara, had their numbers retired respectively this week. Crazy to have them both done on the same week, but boy, is that nostalgia for our ages, isn't
It
it?
sure is. Yeah. Those are
Chara was a menace, but by all accounts, one of the most intelligent human beings on the planet. Like just an absolute genius of a man,
mm-hmm.
an absolute mammoth of a player. Nothing
Yeah.
would phase. He would take a nasty shot block or weird contortion. He'd be back out there right away, especially in the playoff time. He was just a monster, despite looking like a Neanderthal, though one of the most intelligent human beings. And Sergei Fedorov, who kind of led a wave of Russians, especially in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
but in the NHL, had a difficult departure from Detroit at the time. But nice to see them retire his number two,
Yep.
as he was a great player.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. Now
The good
over
old
to the
days.
NFL. Yeah, the good old days. Over in the NFL, where you were on fire, picking 4 for 6.
I got close.
You
I got
got close. You
close.
definitely should have put some money on that one.
Yeah. The Texans would have been the one that got me. I think
Texans hammered the Steelers.
yeah, that's the big loss I think for those picks. The Eagles
Yeah.
49ers was a great game and the 49ers pulled it out at the end, but that was a toss up, so I mean I don't really fault myself for that pick, but the Texans definitely took it to the Steelers and I'm
Yeah.
pretty upset that I picked the Steelers on that one.
So to recap, you did pick the Bills. They beat
Yeah,
the Jags.
in a close
Through
one.
some, yeah, through some Josh Allen theatrics. The Patriots did beat the Chargers in what was easily the most boring game of the 6, a
Yep.
16-3 score there. But the Patriots did what they do, and they won, just like you said.
Yep.
The Rams beat the Panthers, but boy, was that a close one.
Mhm.
I was out for dinner that night. The game was on, and every time I glanced at the TV, the score was different. Every single time.
Yeah, it was an exciting one, that's for sure.
um, the Bears beat the Packers. You
Yeah,
said it.
another close one
They
too.
did it.
Like,
Another close one. The Bears overcame an 18-point hole early on in that game
yeah,
to come back and beat the Packers.
the Packers kind of like. Don't get me wrong, the Bears executed. The Bears did what they needed to do, and they put points on the board at pivotal moments. But the
Yeah.
Packers threw that one away, man.
Yeah.
That was a sure thing for them. For at the start of the game, it looked like the Packers had it, and yeah,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah, I mean it was a drama filled wild card weekend with the Bears and their epic comeback, or the Packers throwing that game away, whichever way you want to look at that.
Yeah,
The Rams, like we mentioned, they win on the final drive of the game. Um, Buffalo much the same. The 49ers and Eagles was a crazy game as well. You saw a crazy trick play in the fourth from the 49ers to put a score up and
yeah.
solidify that one. But that game in particular was drama with George Kittle tearing his Achilles.
Yeah.
Which, like, how many Achilles is that this year in the NFL?
I don't know, man. Between that and the NBA in the last like 5 year stretch, the amount
Yeah.
of Achilles tendons is remarkable. Like it's gotta be
It's
like I don't know what's different,
crazy.
but like I feel like it wasn't that. Like you always heard of the odd one, but not in this volume. Like it's
Not like
crazy
this. Yeah.
how many people are going down with torn Achilles, and it's not an easy injury to come back from, right? So yeah.
No, it's obviously at this stage, season ending when you're in the playoffs, anyways. But
Yeah.
I tried to do some research into this, and it brought me across the wildest conspiracy theory I've seen: the San Francisco 49ers and the fact that their practice facility is
Oh
right
boy.
next to an electrical substation. Okay.
Okay.
And it's giving off low frequency electromagnetic fields that can degrade collagen and weaken tendons to cause soft tissue damage. Okay. So they go on to say that since 2014, there have been 8 Achilles and patellar ruptures for the 49ers and more than 40 hamstring and calf tears.
That's a pretty gross number. I mean,
It
between
is.
all
I
of them.
don't know what that number is compared to, league wide and other teams, but I just ended up down this rabbit hole that this substation is giving off these electromagnetic frequency that is causing 49ers players to rupture and tear tendons at an alarming rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe move the practice facility and see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting? The problem too of those, like, you're gonna need 10 years worth of data to show that it actually changed, right? So we wouldn't know for a long time if that's
Yeah.
actually what's causing it. But
Well, and
anyways,
even
that was just
then,
an interesting aside.
yeah, the amount of money that's put into practice facilities and all of that infrastructure, like you got to think, how hard are they really gonna look into that? Because
They don't care about a lot of things in the NFL
No.
and player safety after the fact, so I wouldn't be surprised if that gets
Yeah.
flushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Also in that Eagles and 49ers game, you had Eagles coach Sirianni and star player Brown just screaming at each other with their heads up against each other on the sideline. You just chalk that up to disappointment in a big game, or is this a bubbling tension? I don't know.
I don't know. Playoff intensity brings out the worst in people sometimes, right? Like they made a big
Yeah.
deal. Was it last year, 2 years ago? Travis Kelsey and their head coach head to head
Big guy. What's
yelling. Yeah, I can't
yeah.
remember right now. Too tired.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Screaming at each other right on the sideline, and it came out that Travis was upset that he wasn't getting the ball as much as he wanted and all that.
Yeah.
I think when it's one and done, the amount of intensity along with the adrenaline that you get from playing a high contact sport like football, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it just brings out the worst in people sometimes, right? I wouldn't read into it too much. I think obviously people aren't going to get along all the time, but I think also if there have even the littlest bit of tension between them, that playoff intensity can just escalate that, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know though. Maybe they do hate each other. I could be completely
Maybe,
wrong,
and
but
coaches in the NFL don't have a long shelf life, so
yeah, it's very true.
yeah, we'll see what happens there. The last game we didn't talk about from that wild card series yet really is the Texans again 30-6 over the Steelers in what may have been Aaron Rodgers' last NFL game.
Yep.
And if it was, his last NFL pass goes down as a pick six.
Yeah. Not a great look.
Not that that's what he will be remembered for, because first of all, he's a real interesting character with his ayahuasca and this and that. He won't be remembered for that, but that would suck. That would bug me as an athlete to know that my last play was a pick six in a losing effort.
Yep. It would be tough. It'd be tough, especially when you go to the Jets and there was so much hype around him for the Jets, and then he gets hurt pretty quick. Like I think immediately, right? Like it was.
Yeah, and what was that injury?
An Achilles, yeah.
An Achilles.
And it was like it was plays into the game, right? Like it was pretty quick. Didn't really get anything going there, and then to come over to Pittsburgh and to have a playoff berth, and to be like kind of thinking, hey, I might be able to go out on a hot streak. Yeah. And then your last throw gets picked off and he takes it back for 6 would be almost enough for me to go another year. Well, you know, right? You gotta
do you?
You gotta try. Like, even if you don't make the playoffs next year or whatever, at least if your last play isn't a pick 6, you almost gotta try just so that it doesn't haunt your dreams for the next 10, 15 years.
And if Aaron Rodgers has proved anything, it's that teams will take a chance on him. Like I thought he was done when he was leaving Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean,
or Green Bay, pardon me, the first time.
Yeah.
And then he's new team. Like he just doesn't seem to go away.
No, he sure doesn't. And he still executes too, right? Like he's not prime Aaron Rodgers by any means, but no. He gets the job done in whatever way the team needs him to, right? Like it seems pretty evident that he can utilize whatever tools he's given to the best of his abilities. So, and I think
that's an important point. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think looking at Aaron Rodgers too, like how long he's stretched his career out, I could almost see him doing another couple, right? Like when you're back in the playoffs, you're kind of making everything look good again. Like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how.
Yeah, because you mentioned him making the most of the the tools that he has. He looked terrible in New York, but that's because that organization from top to bottom was a disaster. The roster was terrible. The coaching was a mess. The management was a gong show. Everything in New York was terrible, and he looked it.
Yeah, they had one great young wide receiver. Over. Yeah,
but no, look at this. He goes to a system that works with them. He's got some weapons. There's some good coaching, and he's competitive again.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's see if you can keep your hot streak going as we go
Oh
into the
boy.
divisional series. So we're going to start with Buffalo and Denver.
Okay. I think the Bills take that one.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's kind of partially the reason why I say that. I think I think it could be a toss up, right? Like I don't know. We've seen moments of brilliance from Josh Allen in the playoffs and we've seen some pretty terrible moments from Josh Allen in the
Yeah,
playoffs in the past too, right? And I think the Broncos are a pretty steady team this year, which is surprising to me still
crazy.
saying that.
Yeah.
Um they're pretty consistent, tough word to say
Yeah.
right now apparently. Consistent team this year. They've kind of done the same thing all the way through the season, but I don't know. It's I think so much of playoff football for me is the experience factor, right? And
Oh, big time.
you've got some experience on the Broncos, but they've been removed from it for a little while now, and you've got the Bills who have consistently been there year after year, whether or not it's them looking like the heroes or them looking like the fools. They've been there, so they've been through all those moments, and they kind of know how to keep that steady head in those high pressure moments. And when it comes down to it, I think that's the thing that I kind of tend to choose towards. So going with the Bills.
My big thing with the Bills is, Allen's kryptonite has been Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And Mahomes obviously nowhere to be found this year. It's just like, if you're Josh Allen, like, it's got to be this year.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a better opportunity than you have this year. So
Yeah.
I will back the Bills as well. San Fran and Seattle.
That's another tough one, especially with Kittle
Yeah, with
being gone.
that Kittle injury changes that completely for me.
It does. And they've got some depth at the tight end position. Like I can't remember his name right now, but their second string tight end is a fairly good replacement for Kittle. I don't think he's as strong as in the passing game, but he kind of fits that run game blocking scheme really well. So I think that makes it tough, but you've got some defensive players. I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going with Seattle. I think there's just too much stacked up against the 49ers. Yeah, they still got their key pieces on offense, but they're missing their key defensive piece there. Man, names are tough today. I should have had Google ready to go here with some names, but yeah, I think I'm going to go with Seattle. I think it's going to be a bit of a upset. I know Seattle is obviously
Seattle got the bye, much like Denver, who got all this rest, which sometimes I think works for you and sometimes I think works against you.
Yeah.
In Denver's case, I think it works against them because Buffalo is able to get that, get in their stride and get going.
Yeah.
With a semi-short break, I think they're just ready. I think the time off has helped Seattle getting that bye because you saw what happened to San Fran. They got beat up a little bit. Yeah, they won, but they're wounded.
Yeah.
I think Seattle will be ready for them. And yeah, again, I think you're right. Seattle should take that one.
Yeah.
Houston and New England.
This one scares me a little bit, if I'm honest, because it's the two games
you
in the
already bet
wild card.
against Houston once.
Yeah. And it's the two games in the wild card that weren't close games, right? Like obviously the Steelers and Texans was a lot bigger of a gap, but they were the only two that weren't like one score games. I have to go towards the Patriots.
Nice, me too. Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm picking the Patriots, and that goes completely against what I just spent the last 3 minutes talking about with playoff experience and them being removed and all of that. But
sometimes a team just has it.
I think the team just has it. I think they've come together really nicely this year, and also I think there's a lot working against the Texans. I think the Texans are another team that kind of like every time they came up against Kansas City, they would fall short, right? Like that's kind of been the story for them and the Bills over the last few years, and honestly the 49ers too. Um, but it's just kind of like I don't where I see the Bills and the 49ers is a very consistent and able to kind of um to work with those upsets and kind of learn from them. I don't see that from the Texans. I think they have a lot of talent, but I think they're also a very easily corruptible team. I think like
Mm.
they can be thrown off balance very easily, and I think that's been very evident in their games in the past few years against Kansas City is when they're up against a team that can kind of change things up and throw different looks at them throughout the game, they kind of tend to crumble. And I think the Patriots will be able to do that because they've meshed so well this year. They'll be able to kind of switch things up a bit and kind of throw them off their game. But again, I could look
Interesting.
dumb after this one.
Yeah. Interesting QB battle too. CJ Stroud and Drake May,
Yeah.
who at the beginning of the year, let alone these teams, I didn't think either of these quarterbacks would lead their teams to a playoff berth at all.
No.
But this one might be who has the better defense, and for me, I think that's the Patriots, and they've
Yeah.
proven that pretty
I would
much all
agree with
year.
that.
So,
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
which leaves us with the Rams and the Bears.
This one kind of makes me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be the one that I'm wrong on. Watch it. I'll get the other three right, and this will be the
Yeah.
one that I'm wrong on. Sadly, I'm going to go with the Rams. I think the Rams are again a very solid team. Like they've got some big names that have been around the league for quite a while and been able to kind of like build their experience throughout the playoffs on multiple different teams, and then they've all kind of come together to create this great team that's kind of held on even through their whole cap struggle since they went all out a few years ago for the Super Bowl. And I just I don't see the Bears being able to overcome that offensive threat that the Rams have.
Yes.
Like they're just so constant on offense that I don't think the Bears. I think it's going to be a shootout if I'm honest. I don't think the Bears will be able to keep up. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, and the Bears just won't be able to put as many points on the board.
And shockingly, I agree with you again. It's a head versus heart vote because I would love to see Chicago make a run of it.
Me
I really,
too.
really would.
Yeah.
But you got to go with the Rams and Stafford and what they've done the last few years, and to be able to keep up a winning pace with all the ball that they've played in the last few years. And they're that team that just looks so settled. They're so composed.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago, yes, they've done what they've done. They beat the Packers, which was incredible. But like now you're coming down from that high of the all-time matchup, Chicago and Green Bay. And I just don't know if they have the poise to play serious football here for another game.
Yeah.
So.
When I think about it though, the funny thing is in my head I relate this game to the movie Rush and James Hunt versus what's his name? Niki Lauda. You know, you got the team that's constant and steady and methodical and has their structure and they do what they do, and then you've got the Bears who are just like out there to have fun, and they seem like they're just kind of like, hey guys, we're here. Let's make the best time of it. You know what I mean? And I mean, you saw James Hunt win once. But I don't think it's the year for it. I don't see the Bears making it.
Don't either. I'm gonna call now. I would think it's going to be a Bills-Ram Super Bowl.
Yeah, I honestly could see that as well. I think that's a pretty solid call. Yeah.
Well, let's see how that all plays out.
Yeah, they'll both lose this week now.
Yeah. Again, 4 out of 6 in the wildcard weekend. You're coming in hot. So, less games, there's less chances for you to be wrong, right?
That's right, yeah.
That's how
Putting the
we're gonna take that.
putting the parlay in this afternoon, and I'm gonna shadow all of my own predictions.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, okay, fun. Those start pretty quick here. The divisional weekend. So,
yep.
um, quickly into the NBA. Last week again, man, we were so on it last week. We were talking about how popular that 2019 Raptors team was and how loved Kyle Lowry was, and how there's nobody
Mm-hmm.
like that on this current team. And Lowry comes into town with head coach Nick Nurse, by the way.
Yeah.
Lowry's not playing a lot, few minutes a game, if that. But the Toronto crowd chanted his name until he was forced to be put in the game. He went up there, jacked up a couple of threes that were nowhere near, but
Yeah.
the crowd just wanted to see him on the
Yeah.
court because they adore him. That was such a cool moment to just have the team or the crowd chant "We want Lowry" to the point where Nurse is like, go play. Like, there's nothing I can do about this anymore. Just get out there and go play.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Super cool.
Love it.
Klay Thompson passed Damian Lillard for 4th on the all-time list in 3 points made. Crazy that, I mean, Lillard's still around, but I know he's dealing with injury and he's kind of fallen off. It's definitely not Dame time anymore.
Yeah.
It hasn't been for a while.
Yeah.
But good for Klay, who's been kind of quiet. He's still a great player, but he's been kind of quiet since separating himself from Steph Curry. But a great achievement for him to climb up to 4th on that all-time list. And then I saw a picture recently of Wembanyama getting back in the game, and with his shaved head, he looks almost identical to another Spurs ex-player, Tony Parker.
I mean, this up.
He's 3 feet taller than Tony Parker. But other than that, side by side, if it was just their headshots, I cannot believe how much Wembanyama looks like Tony Parker.
I gotta look it up. Oh, no way! Yeah, he actually does. That is crazy.
I did a double take. I was like, I don't know if it's just because he's there in San Antonio and he's like, this is the look. I found that really oddly interesting. Because he's so young, he doesn't have to shave his head like that. But
some of us do, Cole.
Fair enough. But you think, being 8 feet tall, his head's so close to the sun that he probably gets so much growth up there. He's like a plant or a tree or whatever.
And honestly, if you're starting to lose it a little bit on the top, who's ever gonna see it?
Yeah, exactly.
You got Yao Ming, and that's it. He's the only guy that'll ever see it. Like, you're good.
They got helicopters out in public doing this hairline watch because that's the only people that can see it.
Yeah.
Another league where the standings over the week really haven't changed much at all.
Yeah.
You got 3 teams in the East with 25 wins. The Celtics, the Knicks, and Raptors all have 25 wins. So the top 7 really are looking fairly secure, with a few teams battling for that play-in position. 7 through 10, excuse me. In the West, I don't think anything has changed since the last time we've looked. No, OKC and San Antonio is still at the top. Denver, though, is kind of resurging. Jamal Murray looks like he did a few years ago, which is good for them. Minnesota has been around it, never been able to really make a run. And again, that West is so strong at the top. I don't think they will. It's going to be one of OKC and San Antonio that goes all the way. I would put money on that right now.
I would almost put money on OKC right now.
Yeah. This isn't a league of upsets like some of the other leagues are. OKC is going to have, they might not lose a game in the playoffs. Realistically, I could see them basically going either 16-0, maybe 16-3 at worst case scenario.
Yeah, I would
the
agree.
way that they're going right now, which is sad a little bit for the sport, but we talked about that last week as well. It's just
Yeah.
there's no middle ground. You're either great or you're terrible in that league, and
They're hot right now.
yeah, are they
To
ever?
quote Zoolander.
Yeah, so hot right now.
So hot right now. He's so hot right now.
And they have been all year.
Yep.
So it's a crazy. They're definitely chasing down that that regular season record, taken over by Steph and his team handful of years ago now. I guess we're dating ourselves there. It's been a while, but
Yeah, was that the year before the Raptors run?
well, now we gotta look it up.
I can't remember. It was somewhere near the Raptors run that they set that, like 2, maybe 3 at the most away. Because it was when they had Durant on the team. No, it wasn't when they had Durant on the team, actually, was it? It was just Clay and Steph. I don't know.
2015, 2016, 73-9.
There you go.
Losing the NBA Finals to LeBron.
Ah,
73
so
and 9.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot of wiggle room, OKC, but it's still possible.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
2 games to play, or 1 game to play with, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight.
it's pretty tight.
They can do it, I believe.
Especially going to the playoffs, if they wanted to rest any of their players going in, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you rest so you actually have a legitimate playoff run, or if you're still possible to tie or touch this record, like,
yeah,
I'd be kicking my play. If I'm the owner, I'm like, go.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want it.
It's got to be playoffs, especially when you look at the fact that Golden State, who set that record, lost that year. You gotta consider playoffs, I think.
73-9 is what's possible when you don't do load management. I don't think Steph Curry missed a moment that year.
I don't think so either.
Times were different 10 years ago. B news because it just broke over the last 12 hours, and I haven't really had a chance to put a lot together, but we will have to talk about it, that Boba does not return to Toronto. He signs with the Mets. I think we're all bracing for him to not sign in Toronto, and the time was now for him to move on, and that's fine. But he was supposed to be replaced by star free agent Kyle Tucker, who, despite throughout the whole process, again, Jays are leading candidate, Jays are there, Jays are one of 2 teams, not even mentioned, and Kyle Tucker signs with the LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers are so stacked. It's so gross. They can sign whoever, and it's not Tucker's fault, but it makes me lose a little bit of respect for him. Like, go play for a team that doesn't have 13 All-Stars already. Like,
yeah.
And we talked about it during the run. Like, they are, they were proud of it. We're ruining baseball. This might be the instant that pushes everything over the edge to introduce the salary cap in baseball, because that Dodgers team is disgusting now.
Yeah.
And you might as well forget playing 162 games. Give them the trophy. Like, this is ridiculous at this point. It's just an all-star team.
Yep.
Every night they just field an all-star team. Really, really frustrated. The Jays have made a lot of moves this summer, a lot of great moves, but I think it was always done with the intention of adding Kyle Tucker. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't get Kyle Tucker, you don't get Bo Bichette. They're still a good team, but they're not beating the Dodgers if there's a rematch. Like,
yeah,
it's upsetting. We'll see what comes of that over the next little bit. I'll put together some more thoughts on that, but that just happened, both of those instances, over kind of the last 12 hours here, so...
Start stealing their calls now.
Yeah, literally. Put a spotter out there. Find out why every other league is tearing Achilles and start introducing that program into the Dodgers practice facility.
Yeah,
that's the only way they're being
Let's
stopped.
set up a power plant next to their facilities.
Yeah. That's right.
Wherever
the electromagnetic fields out in LA here.
Yeah, we'll get in deep with whoever books their hotels and everywhere that they stay, and we'll get them in a hotel next to a power plant every time. Uh,
Oh God. Baseball is so far away, and I've already given up on this year. That's dumb. But we got some other dumb stuff. Our dumbest sports moment of the week. What you got?
I have from the F1 world, and it's kind of a two-parter for me. The first part is that it was announced that it was going to be live, and it was quite obviously a pre-recorded release for their F1 cars, for the Red Bull and Red Bull Visa Cash App cars. Um, the sequences had some hard cuts in it that made it fairly evident that it was pre-recorded and not live, which is fine, I guess, when you really think about it. It's not that big of a deal. The second part for me was the fact that it was announced that it was going to be released on January 15th in Detroit, which is great. Cool. Let's get on board with Ford and do a Detroit release of their car. But by the time they actually released it, it was quite late in the evening, even here.
Even locally, yeah.
And it fell to the next day for the majority of the F1 fans, which are overseas, over the Atlantic, over in Europe. And
this is the middle of the goddamn night. Like, it was like 3 a.m.
Like, it was the next day. So, I mean, I guess it's a three-parter, because when you looked up anything to do with Red Bull F1 on Instagram or wherever you looked it up, the car was already released before the release even happened. I thought I had personally I had personally looked it up on Instagram like a day or two ago and saw all these cars, and they were all just labeled as like concepts and all that, and then comes to the reveal and they're identical cars. So obviously it would have been kind of leaked a little bit. And yeah,
the pre-record itself it's fine, whatever, but why did you present it as live? You went to YouTube Live. The title of the video was, or the title was still live. Everything said live, but it was so evidently not live.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point?
Don't know. I also
just to pull in viewers, I guess.
Yeah. I also just have a hard time with the Red Bull team in general, because the farm team for them, I'll call it, as a North American F1 watcher, in Visa Cash App, Red Bull, their car is always cooler. Like, the Red Bull car is boring. They change the blue slightly. Like, it looks...
I do that and the Red Bull lettering, which to me doesn't matter. They went back to the old Red Bull font, which is nostalgic for some. F1 hardcores are going crazy over this. Like, it's the biggest deal for them.
I don't care.
To me, like you said, like slightly different Ford blue added into the mix.
Yep.
And the lettering. I do appreciate that they made it different to a degree, because it's been like 5 years of an identical livery. So it is slightly different.
Yeah.
But it's not get out of your seat exciting.
Nah. Yeah. The Red Bull Visa Cash App's a cooler car to me. I mean, I know it'll be slower and it'll be crappier, but it looks cooler.
Yeah. Just funny too, their whole fake live event where they hard cut over to all of a sudden a different presenter to do the Visa Cash App presentation, and where they've already known that they've lost their viewership, because the whole Red Bull portion was like 30 minutes. Visa Cash App got like 4.5 minutes. They didn't interview the drivers. They didn't do anything. They're like, "Oh, you want to see the car?
Pull it Here off. It is."
And we're done for the evening. We're like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah. It was a weird
event. The timing, the fake, everything. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah. It's such a weird team structure to me too in that sport, because like, that there's partner teams like Mercedes and Williams work closely together, and you always kind of have like driver deals where like they'll sign a rookie to a lesser team with the idea that they're developing them for the bigger team, right? But the Red Bull and Red Bull Visa Cash App are so closely knit that like you're having them purposefully steal fastest laps when they counted for points and all that. The whole structure just rattles me a little bit. But anyways, that's aside from the point. Just getting some anger out because I'm tired.
That could be a whole different podcast again. When you saw our F1 pod was 2 hours long, because there's a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah. Anyways, what's yours, Cole?
My dumbest sports photo of the week comes from not even the sports itself, but reporter, respected gentleman Elliot Friedman for the Sportsnet group. He's been in this game a long, long time. He breaks a lot of trades. He's the first guy on a lot of news. He gets a lot of one-on-one. Great guy. I listen to his podcasts every week. Been around the sport forever, but he's getting older.
Yeah.
And he told the story on his pod. He was trying to tweet something using, keyboard shortcuts and type it all out. And he accidentally retweeted a meme. He reposted a meme.
Oh boy.
With a toddler and a caption of a lot of words that I'm not going to say on this podcast. And he didn't have a clue until an NHL coach texted him and said, "What you doing?"
Oh boy.
He had no idea that he had reposted this meme with some vulgar captions until people started calling him. And, he told the story and he's like, I had literally no idea how I did it. Didn't know it happened. Couldn't tell you how to do it again if I wanted to.
Yeah.
He just, technology got away from him. And for about 10 minutes, he had some people going, what is going on with Elliot Friedman? And what does this mean? What is this in reference to? You can look it up for yourself. I'll probably post a link to it, but I will definitely not read it out here. So it's pretty funny. When I looked it up, it made me laugh pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. But that's a lesson, kids. Be careful with your social media.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, he deleted it, but it's not gone from the internet. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna know.
We'll never escape from it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, that leads us into our final portion. It's our Colby's WTF.
My WTF today comes from the world of tennis, and it is called the hindrance rule. And what is it?
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
Of course.
So, for back-to-back weeks, we started with a hat, right? We talked last week in the MLB how if you use your hat, this is illegal, and it brought about a whole set of rules, a broader term, very much the same in tennis here, where you said, what's the hat rule? Well, it's this hindrance rule where if an opposing player's hat falls off during play, the opponent can then stop play and request a replay of that point because it was an unintentional distraction or an unintentional hindrance.
That darn hat.
Yeah, beyond me. Tighten your hat. I wear a lot of hats. I don't understand this one at all.
Yeah.
If play continues and the opponent doesn't, stop play and request this replay, the hat stays on the court and remains in play, which is fine. I think that's what the rule should be at all time. But whatever. If it happens more than once, it's no longer an accidental hindrance. It's considered an intentional hindrance, and the player whose hat falls off multiple times loses the point.
Tighten your hat.
Yes.
Keep your hats tight, kids.
How is this a thing?
I don't know.
This one really required me some, I didn't have a clue. A lot of these ones you bring up, I might have at least an idea and know where to start looking. Like, this one was so strange to me.
I gotcha.
So I guess for tennis players, do up your hats.
Yep. Velcro. Super glue that hat
The
on.
fact that there's a whole rule and then a subset of rules on if it happens, what doesn't happen, if this happens, and if it happens more than once, is like, how often did hats fall off in the early years of tennis for them to come out with a whole set of rules for your hat?
Yeah, you gotta account for those loose hats. They're dangerous.
Never watched a moment of tennis, by the way.
Me neither.
Could not be less interested, but now I might be. Let's start. Maybe there's some prop bets out there on the hat rule. See if we can start betting on some hats falling off.
How many hats will hit the court in this game? Match. Not game, match.
All right. That was a little bit shorter. We come to the end here of the past week in sports. Real quick, what are we looking forward to in the next week?
Continuing into NFL playoffs.
Big
That's
time.
mine.
Yeah, we got to see. We got to see if your predictions hold true or not.
That's right.
No, that's an exciting weekend, and then obviously we are excited to keep watching these F1 livery reveals.
Yep.
A lot of years I'm not super excited. This is kind of cool because it's a new year with new regulations. The cars look a little bit different.
Yep.
There's also a rule now where 55% of the car has to be painted and or covered in stickers.
Nice.
So that will avoid some of the super boring straight up carbon that we've seen over the last few years.
Yeah.
So,
We've also got
but it's
Audi and Cadillac joining, and
exactly
Haas with their new title sponsor. So
exactly where I was going with that. So much like Red Bull with the Ford partnership, Haas is coming up. They've got Toyota on board now, Cadillac and Audi being brand new to the sport. I really hope Cadillac goes wild. I really, really do.
I do too.
Audi, by everything that's been leaked early on, is going to be just a boring German setup, but we still look forward to it. One done, 10 more to go over the course of the next month or so, and it's exciting to get it, here and there. So we get F1 material for about a month before testing starts.
If Cadillac doesn't do the Corvette yellow, I riot.
I would love. I was talking about this again last night. I want Renault back on the ground. I need somebody to do a yellow livery.
Yep, I agree.
I need yellow. I was
that
really
banana
part
car.
of me deep down was hoping that Red Bull was going to really lean into that yellow portion that they have on their airbox cover and on the nose. I wanted so much more yellow, but nope.
Yeah. Ferrari needs to do a full yellow car one year just for fun. I think I'd be better than that
red with a big blue HP circle on it. That is so disgusting. In my opinion, I hate
full yellow with a black
HP on the red.
Yeah, full yellow black stallion. Add some blue in there. Yellow and blue look good together for the HP symbol. I think it works good. I like it. Put us in charge.
Right. I had so many thoughts about it. If I was in charge, they would have to do a minimum of 2 special liveries a year.
Yeah.
Where 100% of the car is covered.
Yeah.
100% of the car is covered.
Yeah.
You have to use special liveries for, let's say, 20% of the races. I kind of want a home and away jersey setup.
That'd be sick, actually. Yeah.
Right. I understand how extremely expensive that is.
Yeah.
And it's not realistic, but it would add some flair to a sport that has taken a bit of a beating for being boring at the end of this era. So let's hope that this new set of regulations can add some flair.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure it will. I mean, there's going to be, I think with all the new manufacturers and new regulations, I think there's going to be a little bit of flair just based on issues.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, Red Bull said that in their fake launch last night. It said, bear with us for the first couple months because this is new. This is new for them doing their own engines. So anyways, we are rambling the hell out of the end of this podcast. So we'll say goodbye there.
Yeah.
And we'll chat again soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.